Hey, what's happening? What's popping, guys? We got one of the most powerful freaking menaces in the OU tier. Like, I love this thing so much. It hits like a nuke. It can be Charizard X, Charizard Y. It can go bulky, and it's a fan favorite. When this Mega first came out, and its color scheme being black and red, you just knew it was an absolute powerhouse, and definitely one of my favorite mons. Uh, from Gen 1 to even now, it's just so powerful, man. So we're gonna be looking at the team, how I built the Charizard. So one of the first things I want to accomplish is Charizard checks a lot of the different megas. Like, it is an anti-mega Pokemon, as funny as that is. Like, for example, Charizard, if it doesn't have, I mean, it generally, like, Charizard Ys usually carry like Focus Blast now, and like you could take Focus Blast with Charizard Ys. Sometimes they have Earthquake or occasionally Dragon Pulse if they're weak to the Lottie twins. But for the most part, Charizard X absolutely walls Charizard Y, and it's also a very, very good, Mega Scizor check. Mega Scizor can be very, very difficult to work around, but if you got a Charizard X, another thing is Bisharp. That's not on this list, but another one's Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye is going to be on a ton of different stall teams, and having a breaker like Charizard is very good because um, fire type's the best physical typing in the game because you can't burn it. You go for Willow and it's a fire type, so it doesn't work like that. Now, unless Mega Sableye, it occasionally carries foul play, so you got to watch out for that. But other than that, these are just straight up set out fodder mons. Mega Venusaur, Sludge Bombs aren't doing a thing to you unless it's like super offensive. Then it's like you just OHKO it with a Flare Blitz. So some of the things we got to watch out for are things like the bulky Landorses with Rocky Helmet, or even Scarf Landorses. So you got to set up two Dragon Dances potentially. Another thing is like Tyranitar, because Tyranitar is like this ultimate switch into like everything. Quagsires, and Clefables, because they both have the unaware ability, so you can't like mindlessly set up as long as they're there. And Clefables carry T-Wave, Quagsires carry Toxic, EQ's kind of doing some damage. So we're going to keep that in mind when building. So Charizard, Adamant. Adamant Charizard, I think, is the best Charizard because a lot of those things that like to switch, nothing really appreciates switching into a Charizard. Even things like as bulky as a Powdon almost get to it KO'd. And so yeah, you don't even have to set up Dragon Dances with this spread. You just go ahead and nuke. And if it's late game, like this mon is more meant to be a nuke opposed to a setup mon. But let's say their last mon's Lottie, and you set up on something, and then I don't know, you kind of work around it. And then like, you can actually run EQ on DD Zard as well, but with this team, I think the dual stabs is fine, and Heat Rain's not really a problem. 271 speed, outspeed base, 135 Mega Lopunny, Mega Manetrix after Dragon Dance, and it is a good speed tier by itself. Another thing is Torn. So I don't know, I really wanted a multitude of switch-ins with Keldeos and stuff like that lurking around. Keldeo doesn't hit you for super effective damage, but like Hydro Pumps do a ton. Everything Keldeo does, if it's choice specs, does a ton. Another thing like Tornadus and T-Tar do is they're pretty much my Dragon Resists, not really my Exegeo. But like, if they have, Lottie twins or whatever, like I can take a like super, super bulky Tornadus and then knock off or U-turn on it, on the Lottie twins or whatever. Another thing that is a must is hazard removals with Charizard. As soon as you Mega, like, you don't have to, like, you only take 25 opposed to 50 with regular Charizard. But anyways, yeah, another thing that Tornadus does is that, just it's a Keldeo check, Lottie check, it's speed. I added Slowbro, so now we got a Regen Core. They complement each other very nicely. Charizard deals with the electric types that try to volt switch around, paired with T-Tar and Extra Drill as well. Is very, very nice. Another thing we got on the team is a little bit of sand offense. This allows us to late game sweep essentially, and it just gives us a spinner and a stealth rocker. Um, I kind of played around with the Tyranitar set the most because it's like originally I had this thing like super bulky. But like between Tornadus and Slowbro, I didn't really feel the need to run a whole this thing could still possibly take 2 Dracos, depending. Um, and like this thing kind of wall breaks by itself. Now you can run something like maybe a Lumberry for like something a little bit annoying to the team is something like a Rotom, because Rotom technically no, Charizard does beat the Rotom 1v1, but Rotoms can be annoying, so that's another reason why we have the superior. But if you're running Sand Rush Excadrill, you can't really hit Rotoms that hard. Another option you can run is something like a Return to hit the Rotoms, but I like Swords Dance a little bit better here. This is actually, it's based on preference. We got 2 Talonflame checks, so you don't necessarily need Rock Slide. But you can put it on there. You can add Return, but like we have kind of checks for the Rotoms. But I don't know, I just like Sword Stance the most. That you can play around with. Same thing with T-Tar. I decided to run Smooth Rock with 240 speed. 240 speed. This team was also a little bit weak to modest Volcanion. If he's timid Volcanion, Tornadus can deal with it a lot better. But if he's modest Choice Specs Volcanion, our T-Tar is going to be able to outspeed the base 70s that are Adamant or Modest. And it's a very simple team. There's nothing too complex or crazy at all about it. And Slowbro has Thunder Wave to help support the Charizard. If it does get paralyzed itself, it can also paralyze other things to make up for its speed and just slowing things down in general. So we're not 100% dependent on our speed being in sand, but a lot of offense on this team paired with a defensive core with Slowbro and Tornadus, and another thing is Superior. Superior also is our 3rd check to the Keldeos, and Superior right now is actually kind of good with Leech Seed Substitute because it can kind of deal with the Heatrans, even though like our Heatran checks, between Slowbro and Tyranitar, because like even if Heatrans do carry Earth Power or whatever, they generally don't even carry Flash Cannon for whatever reason. But like this thing just absolutely nukes Heatrans and things like that. But just in case, like Leech Seed Substitute can really wear down the offensive trans. And yeah, Dragon Claw is still doing a ton to offensive trans as well. So that's kind of the thought process behind the team. And so we're going to see how this team does on paper. The powerhouse is inside. Now, our opponent does have a lot of simple checks to the Charizard, but not really, in my opinion. So, for example, he does have the Clefable that could be carrying, something like a T-Wave to punish the Charizard, and he's got a Hippowdon that can take 2 Flare Blitzes. But it's still going to put in a lot of work, trust fam. Next, another thing that I noticed is that he does have the Mega Medicham, and that is probably the most used Mega right now in the format, which I don't understand why. Like, I understand that it can OHKO like Rotom if it's not like fully defense invested. Another thing about the Medicham that can be extremely scary is if it did carry Thunder Punch, it would easily be able to 2-hit KO my Slowbro, and I can't really do anything about that, so I do have to keep that in mind that the Medicham can carry Thunder Punch, but I don't know, it's very scary. But then there's things like the Mega Sableye running around. Like this team kind of loses to like the ABR stall teams and stuff like that, because yeah, you do have a Clefable that beats the Mega Sableye, but then it's like none of these, like this team cannot beat it cannot crack the ABR team. But anyways, we're going to continue. So Tornadus I thought was the best lead because I don't really care about Rotom right now. Plus that'd be kind of weird to lead off with Rotom right off the bat because I could be like Zard Y. Like that's another dimension that I want to express about this team is that because I have Tyranitar, it's very hard on paper to decide my Charizard X, Charizard Y. And on this team, you can actually mix it up. You can easily put Charizard Y on this team as well. So I'm going to lead off with Tornadus and just mindlessly knock off all of the items on his team. And it just had a very good matchup, and I could not allow the Medicham to just start punishing my team. So I'm going to get rid of his Life Orb, which is good information because he's obviously offensive, and that shouldn't be able to take Hurricanes too much. So I'm going to continuously, as I said, knock off all the things. And yeah, that does nothing. Now I can't. He's pretty much showed me that he is Bullet Punch because Fake Out. In order for a Medicham to switch on a Tornadus, it's screaming that he's Fake Out plus Bullet Punch, or else why would you make that series of plays? So because he's Bullet Punch, I'm fairly confident. You do not have enough room on your 4 moves to be able to carry Thunder Punch. So he goes right out into Jirachi, and whoops, I skipped a turn. So I mean, he ended up having Energy Ball, but like I can live that, and then just kind of scouting out. That was maybe seeing what he wanted to do there, as I didn't think he would actually stay in as well because, I mean, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was kind of a bad play by my opponent because I had Thunder Wave, and it's like if I Thunder Wave this thing, this thing is now dead, and I mean, you have a Rotom and a Clefable that can easily switch into the Slowbro, but you decided to get Energy Ball damage off when I can easily just regen that off, and I could have Thunder Waved you and made you essentially useless, or got a Scald Burn, But yeah, so he goes for Energy Ball, and he knows I'm not going to stay in, and even if I did, like, I have that. So Tornadus is to switch into everything. That's what it does. So I go in my Charizard. Now, this is just the ladder. We're just here to have fun, and switching in Charizards on Rotoms because you're so confident that he's gonna go for a Willow because you're insane. Yeah, so I'm just gonna Flare Blitz because I thought the Clefable switching was obvious for Hippo. Like you're not gonna keep your you're not gonna switch in your you're not gonna keep your Rotom in on a Charizard X. So I get a crit, but obviously that didn't matter because 2 Flare Blizzes killed, and I mean, he could have maybe gotten a switch in or a recover off on the Slowbro. That's about it. Like, I don't know. Crit sucked, but it is what it is. So obviously I'm going to switch out. Go into the Slowbro as he gets up his rocks to, pressure my Tornadus and my Charizard, which are huge threats to his team. And let's see if we can get Scald Burns. No Scald Burn, but we did knock this off. So the Rotom's on a timer, and my Excadrill can potentially sweep as well. So he's going to Pain Split because I played very, very aggressively around this Rotom. I mean, no matter what he did, I don't really care. Even if he burned it, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro, Volt, whatever, it didn't matter. Superior was finally going to come in. So we making plays around here. I knew that he was going to go into the Tornadus, and I kind of want to get rid of these rocks, and I thought that going into that was the best play. Oh, I decided to Iron Head just in case he wanted to go into the Powdown or whatever. So Superior switching was incredibly obvious. Plus, like, I don't see my Excadrill doing too much, so even if he were to kill that, we're just punishing this guy all around. So yeah, so we're able to get the Dragon Claw off, which means that if he doesn't recover, 2 Flare Blitzes will kill him on prior switching. So if he gets up his rocks, that'll be kind of good for me. So I'm just going to go to the Slowbro as he doesn't initially recover. So he actually predicted my Superior on the on that play, which is very, very nice, but I decided to go Slowbro, and I can easily live that Hurricane. Maybe I should have went for a Thunder Wave there, but once again, he has a Rotom. I don't understand why you're not going Rotom, but it's fine because we can just go into our Tornadus and easily live Hurricanes. So he's gonna go out into the Jirachi, and I'm just gonna Hurricane here as I'm gonna knock off, get a crit. Unfortunate, as he's gonna icy wind, which we can easily eat that, and we're going to oh, U-turn here. Wow, I'm ballsy, but I kind of know he doesn't have Thunder Punch. So he has no reason not to fake out, plus he gets off his Mega, and I'm already in my dedicated switch in, so he's forced to switch out. And I'm still fishing for the Scald. Do I get the burn? I do not get the burn. It's whatever. So more talking about this team as we see here, because the outcome really doesn't matter. What matters is that um, we're how this team is supposed to be made is if they have the Rotom, you can always go into Superior, but he's got a Tornadus that kind of hardwalls the Superior, and going to the Volt Switch into the Tornadus, I don't really want that to happen. So I'm playing a little bit aggressive around the Rotom. So I think that's kind of one thing this team needs to do is, once again, you have checks for the Rotom, but it's probably better to play aggressive around it in my eyes for the most part. Kind of scout, watch out for the Mega Metachams. If they have Thunder Punch, you're going to have to play incredibly aggressive around the Mega Metachams. But I mean, other than that, like Charizard, if ever you want to have as many free switches into Charizard as possible. It doesn't matter that they have Hippowdons, Clefables. You're still doing massive amount of damage to them. So, no kidding, he has a Tornadus. I'm thinking like, all right, I need to get up rocks. And so he goes for a superpower. We live those around here. And, oh, I actually decide to kill off the Tornadus. So that was probably a good play as well. I mean, we're so ahead in the game, and I'm able to get up rocks. Like, this is a very, very good position for me. As I guess I'm just going to save the Tyranitar for later to keep the sand for later for Excadrill, as he makes a good play. And I really don't want rocks up. Like I'll gladly sack my Excadrill to get rid of rocks, and he decides to let his Hippowdon stay in on a Slowbro because he's so desperate to force up the rocks. But the problem is that you cannot allow your Hippowdon to take any damage or else Charizard wins. So he decides, let Charizard win. I can set up on something like the Rotom. So we get a Spadef drop. That's kind of cool. So in my mind, it's like, all right, the game's pretty much won. Superior can win as well. So I'm just going to sack off my Tyranitar, and also so he cannot be able to recover with this Rotom. So I have no reason not to substitute just in case I do miss a Leaf Storm. So he's going to Volt Switch as it doesn't break my sub. So he's going to go out into Jirachi. Once again, I have a guaranteed win. I don't want to miss anything, so I'm just going to kill off Jirachi instead of going for Leaf Storm, potentially missing. So he's going to go into the Medicham. I mean, I have a Slowbro that just kind of beats it. But, yeah, I mean, I can just go for a Leaf Storm. I mean, if I missed, that would have stunk. But we're able to hit, which is very nice. And Superior is going to be able to easily win this game. So, yeah, we're going to hop into the next game here. I don't know how this guy stole my team builder, but anyways, he has a very, very similar team to mine, almost identical. The main differences being, I think we literally have the same team, except he has a Tangrowth and I have a Superior. Very, very interesting. And once again, it's kind of hard to distinguish if he's Zard X or Zard Y. I don't know, this is kind of awkward because it's like I don't remember, like when I built this on the fly, I didn't mean to copy anybody, so I don't know if this is already a team or whatever. But anyways, being very, very similar teams, I know that his team is kind of weak to, I don't know, I guess Tyranitar if I weaken the like Tangrowth or whatever. But anyways, we decide to lead off with our Zard and just start being a menace here as he misses his Hurricane right off the bat. And we actually could have killed the Tornadus if I decided to Flare Blitz, but I expected him to go right out into the Tyranitar. but I don't know. Maybe he predicted a Focus Blast from a Zard Y. I'm not too sure. So decides to U-turn because he can't kill me with Hurricane. I'm just going to continue to weaken his team where I can later sweep with Charizard is my thought process, as I don't want my Superior to get burned or Thunder Wave or this or that. So the only reason why I'm going into Slowbro is to burn his Slowbro, and I just need it. Like, I just need a free switch into Superior. I don't want it to get Thunder Waved. Like, that would be kind of bad for me. So he goes out into his Tangrowth as I go into my Tyranitar, which means that I can just go out into Tornadus, kind of watching out if he does have the Sleep Powder or not. But he predicts me to switch, which is very good. And I'm just going to fire off a Hurricane as he's able to... I mean, he goes for the HP Ice, but like at the cost of taking massive damage. So I'm going to U-turn here because he's not going to stay in. And I get a free switch out into my Excadrill where I can just... he was either going to go out into the Slowbro or the Tangrowth. And I set up a Swords Dance here because I thought I would be able to take out... Yeah, so here, that really sucks. I thought I would be able to take out the Slowbro, but he's absolute max defense, like 252, 252. And another thing is that he's able to get a crit, and I would have been able to live without the crit, but I think, actually, I don't know offhand. I don't know, maybe the crit mattered, maybe it didn't, whatever. But I'm going to go into my Superior as I'm able to break his Balloon, and I'm going to be able to 2-hit KO this thing and start pressuring his team. As he goes for an Iron Head, and I miss my Leaf Storm, which is very frustrating, but I can just fire off another Leaf Storm, and I miss, which, I mean, he has a Tornadus. I don't understand why he's not going Torn here, but I missed out on a kill here. But that should be fine because I can just hurt Leaf Storm here and do a massive amount of damage to the Tyranitar as he gets up his rocks. Because he can freely get up his rocks. And the trend continues. I continuously miss Leaf Storms, which is very annoying for me. But, and he gets a crit here, but I'm able to get up my rocks and then just kill off his T-Tar here. As here, he's going to go out into the Excadrill. And he's going to be able to kill my Tyranitar. And I was trying to prevent him from spinning, but I couldn't prevent him from spinning, long story short. As I am at least able to kill his Excadrill, as he is going to go out into the Charizard. But I think I have a very, very good Charizard check, being my Slowbro. I just Thunder Wave him. And now he's pretty much a goner. And I'm just going to go out. So it's actually funny because it's like, you have Torn, I have Torn. He has a regen Mon. We pretty much have the same Mons, but I'm in a better position here, in my opinion, because I'm able to Thunder Wave that thing. And like, I have a very good switch in on the Tangrowth, being my Tornadus. As I have no reason not to fire off a Hurricane, but I don't want to miss, I guess. So what am I gonna do? Try to go for a fish for a burn. Fish for a burn probably sounds like a good play here, as I am gonna go fish for a burn. Do I get it? No, I do not get it. But if I'm going to set up versus something, it's probably gonna be the Tangrowth here. I don't want to really set up with my Charizard on his Tornadus or on his own Zard. So I think, the best play here is to just kind of sack off my Slowbro to get a free switch into the Charizard, start setting up and winning. So the monster, the beast is inside. I set up a Dragon Dance. He goes for a Sludge Bomb, gets a Poison, and I think that should be fine, as I'm going to go for a Roost, and he doesn't, he's in a position where I pretty much have won the game. Maybe he's trying to get recoil damage off, but I'm going to Flare Blitz because it just got a kill. As next, he's going to go out into this Tangrowth, which I guess the better play was probably go into Zard and then go into Tangrowth expecting the Dragon. I don't know. It was pretty much over because like I can just roost up on the Tangrowth here as I'm gonna yeah, as he crits me one of these turns. Yeah, maybe this next turn he crits me, but I'm just trying to stay out. See, the thing is that I can easily kill the Tangrowth, but like I need to have enough HP where I live after recoil plus poison to be able to take out his Charizard with a Dragon Claw. So that's what that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to Dragon Claw so I don't take as much recoil, and he's gonna go out into his Charizard, which is perfectly fine with me. I mean, that guarantees the win here because I can just easily go for a Dragon Claw here. He's gonna go out into his Tangrowth. I'm gonna Flare Blitz. He doesn't even go out into it because the game is over. And yes, this team is very, very fun. I guess there are some similar teams out there. Like I feel like I've made my own special twist on certain things. But yeah, Charizard, absolute menace, very fun to use. And hope you guys like the team. Until next time, peace.